Duke, and this is Constitution Corner. Well, it's interesting to me that we had our second round of Democrat debates this week, and I kept thinking about the Constitution, as I very often do, the whole time we had these debates. And if there's no debate about this, that the progressive left, the 20 candidates who stood on that stage over 2 days, that they do not even see the Constitution as something they have to take seriously. It was amazing to me how much of what the Democrats were proposing, all 20 of them, almost without any abatement, without any respite, the 20 candidates over 2 days, the same kind of expansionist government, the same kind of executive privilege that if you elect me, I'm going to do all these things. And the Constitution was not a buffer. It was not a road bump. It was not a speed bump for any of their overweening plans. And it was really quite frightening in a way. And what I'd like to reflect upon a little bit is some of the debate performances. Take, for instance, Joe Biden, some of the most ridiculous things that were said. Eliminate fossil fuels. Joe Biden, as president of the United States, is going to literally, he says, without recourse to any constitutional action whatsoever, simply by executive fiat, eliminate all fossil fuels. Immediately, from the moment he were to take office, he would stop the processing, the mining for, the refining of fossil fuels. So all gas and oil products would immediately be stopped under Joe Biden's term. The fact that somebody who served as long as he did for 8 years as a vice president of the United States, true, he served under one of the least constitutionally aware presidents in the history of the country. Nevertheless, that somebody who had been that close to the presidency can see his role as something that broad and remarkable is a little bit frightening. Kristen Gillibrand, Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang. Some of the things these people were saying were pretty staggering. Andrew Yang actually made the assertion that it's too late to fix climate change. Now we all need to move to higher ground. We all need to move to higher ground because climate change is way too far down. It's occurred way too broadly and dramatically, so we're all going to have to somehow move to mountaintops. You got Kristen Gillibrand making her snide remark that first thing she'll do if she takes office is Clorox the Oval Office. You've got Tulsi Gabbard making the argument that Donald Trump supports Al-Qaeda. Two things are happening here, right? You think about the evolution of the presidency, the idea of the presidency over the last 50 to 70 years. I mean, I think honestly you can go back to the Nixon-Kennedy election in 1960, where you began to see the presidency more as a place of celebrity. Nixon was boring and middle American, and he sweated a lot. Kennedy was this young war hero. He was handsome and attractive and well-spoken, charismatic. So almost from that moment on in American elections, the President of the United States assumed a grandeur and a celebrity status that it didn't have before, that the constitutional framers never intended for it. And ever since then, we've been getting more as we've moved into the computer age and the media, the high-tech media age, the 24-hour media cycle. We find we're in a situation now where the presidency is really a glamour position. You could even make the argument that Donald Trump, had he not hosted his own show and become a bit of a media celebrity himself, perhaps wouldn't have appealed nearly as much to the American electorate as he did anyway. And so what you see here is all of these 20 candidates vying for a presidency that is both celebrity-driven but also autocratic. The idea that the president doesn't need Congress, the idea, and this is true of Democrat and Republican presidents over the last 50 years, the idea that presidents do what they want, presidents have all the power, that presidents suck up all the oxygen in the air. You combine that with the fact that you've got a Congress and a Senate for dozens of years now who refuses to do its job. I remember we had a Democrat-controlled Senate for almost the majority of Obama's reign as president, and they didn't pass a budget once. Not one time did they pass a serious budget resolution under Obama when the Democrats controlled it. So you've got a Senate that won't do its job. You've got a Congress that refuses to pass laws. They won't legislate. And that allows presidents to think they have more power. It's a dangerous precedent, what you have here, and it's very unconstitutional. You see what's going on with the American Congress, deadlock, gridlock, the passing resolutions and engaging investigations that go nowhere. And when those investigations congressionally turn out to have gone nowhere, they double down and give you many more investigations on the same topic. This is a real constitutional crisis we face, and that constitutional crisis was on firm display in these two Democrat debates. These are people who don't think they have to work with Congress. These are people who think they are above the law. These are people who think that simply by fiat they can completely transform the way American government works. It's not a good look.